Hello and welcome to Flory Models Classic Kit Review. We say classic because this is definitely a classic. What we've got down in here is the Revell's boxing of the 1/32 scale Lysander Mark I III. Now we say Revell boxing because originally this was actually a Matchbox kit, and I've got it down here back in 1978. 78, that's incredible. I didn't realise it was quite that old. So, you know, for a kit that's sort of 45 years old, it's doing very, very well. All right. So yes, this was reboxed though, and it's been done in 2 flavours since. So it then wasn't seen, because obviously you might know, you probably know all about this, sorry, but Matchbox went, and then obviously the moulds got split up and went a few places. And then Revell got a lot of them though, and have brought some out, and then some of them have now been superseded by everything else. But we still get some absolute gems, and still nobody's done a 1/32 Lysander, so that's what we've seen it. So basically this one came back in 1998, but we haven't seen it in any sort of shape of boxing or anything since 2003. So it hasn't had a new boxing or anything else like that. So again, this is such a classic kit, and I remember building it as a kid, as a teenager and that, and being blown away, and it seemed massive. I'm surprised it fits in a box like this, because I'm sure the original Matchbox box was one of the really long ones of how they did it. But anyway, I thought it'd be really interesting to have a proper look at it. So as you can see, they changed the box art with when Revell got hold of it. As I say, they never really even changed the box art for both versions of it that came out. All right, but I did like the other version, which I've got here, courtesy of Scalemates, which looks like this. This is the original one, how you might remember it, and actually how it looked. And I think it looks so much better in that box art. That looks just really, really cool compared to obviously this one just down in here, which I don't think is quite as nice. All right. Anyway, some of the details, which that's not, you know, go over the top here. The details are going to be a little bit lacking, but then this kit is quite old. All right. So your kit number for this one, as you can see, is 04710. All right. In the box, we are greeted by Revell's usual way of doing stuff, which is nothing too excited about. But is this box even going to stand up? Hold on. I might have to make a few adjustments to the box to get it to stand up. Hold on, we're going to have to lean it. Come on, there we go. All right, so we got it. That's what I'm saying about the bag. I thought it was a lot bigger back in the day. Now, this kit here was kindly sent to me by a member. So big thank you to him for reaching out and saying, do you want one? I've got one in my stash. So we've got it just down in here. So we've got the decals, which, hello, somebody's been munching in the decals, but I don't think they're any ones of the important ones. You can get aftermarket decals for this one still, luckily, because they might be a bit old. All right, so yes, so I do believe these are pretty much as the original instructions were from the Matchbox days, but obviously Revell have put their little touch on it a little bit. All right, so what's nice with this kit, considering its age, nice internal detail with all the framework is down in there. Side panels are moulded into this one as well. You do get a pilot figure, although I wouldn't write home about him. All right, but you've got rudder pedals, control column, things like that, trim tabs, trim wheels, things like that, and then all the various parts coming in, including the big old fuel tank. All right, so that's actually quite nicely detailed. And then over in here as well, you can see we've got some of the decals, which is what I think is missing from the kit. No, decals are there, number 25. All right, but you can see those ones all down in here right the way through. But again, you've got the gunner. He's obviously got him out the back as well with his equipment. He's even got ammunition containers, storage containers down in there, the sides of him. And obviously he's got the extras for the ones on the top, depending on which gun. So if you've got the twin guns, that's fine. If you've got the sort of Vickers one with the old dinner plate on top, you've got another version there. So again, this is the difference between the Mark I and obviously which other marks you're doing. If you're doing the Mark III, slightly different in the gun configuration, which is one of the big areas with this one. All right, so very nice from there. Then we can see something was dyed in there somewhere. All right, but as we can see, with all of that in there, you can then just get it all together, get it all crammed in. We've got some nice details on the engine as well. All right, a little bit basic, but if you did want it, you could have the cowlings open to be showing it off, but generally you're probably going to be buttoning it up, and away you go. Depending if it is the Mark I or the Mark III, it means you have got to do a little bit of surgery to the spinner just to shorten it down. But if you are going to be doing sort of the Mark III, which I think pretty much most of us will be doing, it's going to have the slightly longer one on there as well. Exhaust being fitted, obviously prop engine and that being onto the front. Tail planes all been going on, tail wheel all being fitted. just like that. And then obviously, depending if it's the Mark I or the Mark III, you're going to be tending on if you're going to be doing it with the actual little bomblets on the outer ones with or without. All right, so again, it's sort of standard Mark III doesn't have them, but you can have it obviously on the Mark III and the Mark I just down in there. Again, wheels all going down in there. Big old fuel tank right underneath it for those longer range missions. All of the greenhouse glass being fitted down onto this one as well. And then again, depending on which sort of configurations you're going through, you can put a bomb rack as well on the tail. This thing's quite a little bomb machine really as well. And we've got the little hook, which is going to go up underneath as well if you wanted to actually fit that one. Then on the outside, very nice as well. So actually we do have some control surfaces as well. So you could deflect them as well if you wanted to on the ailerons as well. Obviously it's not a biplane, so there's no rigging to worry about, just the support braces going down into there. Then again, we've got the ladder. So again, if you want to be fitting it with a ladder that bolts to the side, and again, different types of pitot tubes between the Mark I and the Mark III. All right, markings, colour calling outstanding here as well. So we've got one down in here from 1940 for the Army Cooperation out of Cambridge. And then this one over here, we've got down in here, same one as well, from 1941. And again, the traditional black colour scheme, which this one here is the one that was on the original Matchbox one, which was this one. Although this is what we've got down in here, C for Charlie. Obviously this one here slightly updated down in here, where obviously it's a GRM one as well. All right, so again, some nice little touches with that one if you wanted to do it that way. Again, decals, yeah, you might want to go aftermarket. That said, I reckon these would work. These haven't yellowed at all, so it might get away with them, but as I say, it may be a little bit of a thing to say, do you know what, I'm going to go down a little bit of an aftermarket route. All right, I'm trying to work out which bits he's nicked, but not to worry. Right, as for the kit itself, we've got a big old bag. Just down in here, we've got some clear parts, which the clear parts are still bagged. They've never been out of the bag, so that's a very good sign. And then if we work our way down in here. So please bear in mind, this kit's 45 years old. All right. So here you have it. Again, it's a little bit basic and it's got the odd sink mark, but it's sort of here. I think it's going to need a little bit of surgery. So fuselage halves, as you can see down in here, it's a little bit lacking in, well, anything at all. It needs riveting. I think because of the scale, you're definitely going to rivet all of this and sort this one out. And that's definitely what I would do. And again, down here at the back, it's a little bit softly molded, the panel lines and things. So I'm thinking what I would do down in there is just come in with a scriber and rescribe all of this just to sharpen it right the way up. And I think with some riveting in there, straight away that will change it. It will just bring it all back to life. And to be honest with you, it could probably do with a little bit of a sand just to knock a little bit of this texture back, because it's a little bit, well, as it is, it's fabric, but it's just the wrong type of fabric texture, I think, on this one. But generally, it's a very hard styrene. All right, so very nice. We do have a little bit of former work. You can probably see these are like gloss. And then obviously we've got the cowlings down in here. There's your spinner. Internal details, there isn't any. So again, just goes to show on that one. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's a repair on the mould or what that is. That's a little bit weird, because I thought perhaps it's something on the outside, but there's nothing there. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe a repair actually on the mould. But generally, as you can see, now the bombs as well, yeah, like all of this kit, it's lacking on detail, but for a kit that's 45 years old, I think we can let it offer these things. So wings and things, you can see, actually not bad. Nice bit of texture difference between the metal on the leading edges, and then down in here for the fabric covered areas, it's actually not bad at all, quite like that. And again, just needs a bit of sharpening up, a little bit of crisping up and things like that, but generally you can see we've got two part of these, but again, ejector pins are recessed and out of the way, so not too bad at all. And actually, considering, I think the mould held out pretty darn well. As I say, I built this thing and chucked it together with just a bottle of black paint and some tube of super glue. So very similar on the other side. We've got the other wing, and then down on here we've actually got the tail planes though. You can see fabric cover parts, the metal parts, things like that. Underside of the wings, obviously got the holes in there for the bracing. So yeah, very nice indeed with those. And obviously being Matchbox, the other nice part is, of course, is that all the parts are numbered. Number 15, number 20, 19, 21, 22. And that's the nice thing with them. All the parts are actually numbered. See, companies could learn a thing or two about that even today. Okay, so down in here, we've got that internal structure, and like I was saying, basic. There's nothing award-winning out of this, but again, because of its age and what you've got, this is one of those ones you treat it as a project and work with it instead of against it. So that's pretty nice. And again, here's another little bit just down in here, lacking in detail, shall we say. Again, this is the little stub wings, if you like, coming off the gear, which have the little bombs on. You've got a little bomb rack, and again, it's got a small engraved area. There you go, just catch it in the light. There we go. You can see that engraved area showing you where the position of that weapons rack would actually be. And same on these outer ones as well. There are a little bit sink marks in these that need to be taken care of. And again, you need to scribe this up properly. This is, in theory, a removable part, and some of them didn't have these outer covers on. From our point of view, you do want to leave them on because obviously it's what holds the wheel on. All right, but I think if you was to rescribe that, sharpen it up, put some access latches down into this one, you know, even some riveting and some details down in here, make a world of difference to this particular kit, as there goes with the old external fuel tank. Again, nice texture on it. It's got some strapping separate to the actual main one as well. So again, really, again, you just take it on its merits of what this is and what you can do with it at the end of the day. All right, so down into the major cockpit parts and things like that, as you can see. So again, the instrument panel, obviously is what everyone wants to know about. See, isn't too bad. Again, by the time you get it down in there, it's fine. There's your trim wheels, things like that. The engine we were talking about, it's got rib details. If you wanted to get in and wire it and do all the little bits and pieces, you can do. The little exhausts and all the rest of it coming off. The pilot figures, obviously for the front and rear, although they must be twins. Just guessing. All right, props, to be honest. Oh, I was just about to say, no sink marks. Oh, yes, there is. They've got sink marks all on the inside, so it needs to be taken care of. The guns, the two different types of guns, again, a little bit basic, but also you can do wonders with that. The seat, got some padding. This is the internal fuel tanks. The wheels, no weight on wheels, and there's no detail, because technically you see very little. But again, if you used to put in the little air valve, and again, a little bit of detail, a little bit of riveting around it, things like that, I think it'll work very, very well. All right. Last up, clear parts. Look, these haven't been opened in, well, depending when this one was last done. So, straight into it. This is your clear parts. Look how clear that is. For a kid of this age, and this has been running around a bag as well, but you can see just how clear that is. No problems at all. That is very, very clear. It's a little bit soft-edged, but obviously mask set in there and you'll be absolutely good to go. You'll be absolutely fine. Again, we've got the clear panels for down the sides. And then obviously we've got the panelling, the overhead ones down in here. And again, they are all fine. They're all pretty darn clear. We've got the landing lights, big old landing lights on these, huge big ones. Look good. Obviously the front windscreen. So again, doesn't look too bad at all. Although it didn't have one that goes round it. I thought it had a bar that goes round. Perhaps that's an internal. Don't know. But double check on that. But I'm sure it had one that went round that way. But again, little things. But generally, considering the age of the kit, the quality of the clear parts are absolutely fantastic. There you have it. See, it's not that bad. To be honest, it's not as bad as a certain Halifax 148 scale bomber we've reviewed a few days ago. This one would be a doddle compared to that one. But again, it's one of those kits. It's an old classic. If you're a Tamiya brand new model maker and you want to shake and bake and just walk away from it, this is not the kit for you. You don't want to be going back and doing these because it will just drive you mad. But if you're a modeler who likes a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of the old grey matter, like how you're going to work these things out, how you're going to upgrade it. Somebody who's into making, scratch building or 3D printing your own bits and pieces, kits like these are actually really nice. And I can understand why Revell have this in their catalogue. I don't know when the last time it was released or even if it's currently available. But if you look at some of their other ones, and I've got them all, of their 1/32 scale lineup, like the Hurricane, the Spitfire, the P-51, obviously the 109, the 190, the Lysander, they're all quite basic kits, and those ones are half the age of this thing is. All right, they are all basically new kits. This is a really old one, but again, you can do lots with them. They're quite basic, but you can just throw a little bit of time and effort at it and you can turn to something nice. I think to start with, just to this have a rescribe and a re-rivet would just update this kit horrendously, get rid of all the sink marks and take care of it, rescribe, re-rivet it, you're actually onto a bit of a winner straight off the bat. Then I think if you come in with a little bit of scratch building, perhaps a little bit of detail work around the cockpits, because it is quite open, you can see it all, that'll make a world of difference. And I think by the time you pop in and do these areas around the wheels maybe and things like that, just add a little bit more detail, the rest of it, it's going to be fine and you can just get on with it, all right? But these are all quite small little jobs all the way through, which will make a huge difference to the model once it's completed. And that's why I think it's an absolute gem of a kit, this one, and why probably I'm going to build this one at some point in the near future as well. Anyway, that's Revell's, which is the old Matchbox from, what did we say, 1978 kit of the Lysander Mark 1, Mark 3 in 1/32 scale.